If you don't know this guy, it's Hank Kunneman. He's a televangelist, close friends with Kenneth Copeland, for example. Both Kenneth Copeland and Hank Kunneman, claimed that Donald Trump would, beyond question, win the 2020 election and become president and sit in the Oval Office for 4 more years. That's what they said. Very specifically, no way of weaseling out of that. Now, how did they weasel out of it? Ultimately, they said, well, he did win. He did win. We just didn't, they stole it from him. Well, you said he was going to be in the Oval Office. Isn't it God? Can't he make any decision he wants? Like what? Anyway, listen to his reaction the first time he came out on stage after that failed prophecy.
Why is Hank Kunneman standing? Because God has spoken to me.
No. That's what got you in this pickle in the first place. He's not talking to you.
And you want to call me false, and yet I have stood and I stand with God. I will stand with this loyalty, whether you think I'm false or not. If that's what you think, then you can take your opinion and you can shove it.
Oh, wow. I didn't see a pastor saying that. That's kind of funny. He doubled, tripled, and quadrupled down on this. It was so entertaining. Oh my God, I eat this up. This clip is from late March 2021. So it's about 2-3 months after Biden was inaugurated. 2 months after.
God is not going to ignore what happened in 2020, November 3rd of our election. The enemy wants it to go away. The media wants it to go away. Those that are in the circus house wants it to go away.
No, I don't care if it goes away or whatever. You're just lying, okay? Trump didn't win in 2020. He lost.
But God is not going to rest. Now, why is Dog here tonight? Because I believe there's a spiritual bounty by the hand of God that is over those that have done injustice.
Because Dog the Bounty Hunter was on the show. Dog the Bounty Hunter. And he's working him into a prophecy from God right now, unironically.
By the hand of God that is over those that have done injustice. They've done it to the children. They've done it in the earth. They've done it concerning our government, our politics. They stole it. It was injustice. And there is a bounty that God has put over their head. And there is a great removal that is about to take place. God is not.
So God put a bounty over people's heads, ? And of course, this is 2021 and we are now, years later. We are years down the line. No bounties are forthcoming. Nobody has gone to jail for cheating on the election or whatever other BS he had to lay down. It was all made up all along. And it's so comical to me that I've even put it on my soundboard.
Whether you think I'm false or not, if that's what you think, then you can take your opinion and you can shove it.
I love everything about it. I love the fact that he is such an asshole and refuses to accept it.
Now you're an asshole. You got that? You're an asshole, is what you are. No, he's an asshole.
Anyway, listen to what Hank Kunneman had to say fairly recently. This is July 2024 when he had this to say. Check it out.
This fake administration is what I always call it. They laughed when they introduced this COVID, and they.
Okay, wait a minute. I'm sorry. So he refuses to call it an administration because in his mind it's not. So he calls it a fake administration. But he's upset that the Biden administration released COVID into the world. You mean the virus that was released under Donald Trump? Are we talking about the same one? Okay, go on.
When they introduced this COVID, and they laughed when they made up 6 feet social distancing. They laughed when
they made up 6 feet social distancing. They were doing that all the way back in the 1918 pandemic. Like during the Spanish flu pandemic or whatever, they were doing social distancing and masking. And guess what? You went to jail back then for not wearing a mask. Tell me again how persecuted you are. Oh, so mistreated. It's terrible. These people are jokes of human beings, okay? My God. Quick interjection, this won't take long, I promise. I'd appreciate it if you watched to the end of the video, or at least a couple extra seconds, because YouTube bases its algorithm off of watch time. The more watch time a video has, the further the video will go. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion and the history of the religion generally. The 100 questions are intended to challenge a religious leader, so I'd appreciate it if you give it a read. Okay, back to the video.
They didn't care about our loved ones, some that died because they blocked different methods to be, cured from COVID. So,
okay, who is they, first of all? Are they in the room with us right now, Hank? And second, no legitimate treatments were blocked. Hydroxychloroquine and erythromycin were never going to solve the problem, okay? There were tests that people were doing to see if this thing would work or that thing would work or whatever. And we suggested it. As a society, we looked and the doctors were writing preprint papers on this. It hadn't been peer-reviewed, and they're like, oh, this might look promising. And some things just don't pan out. That's the nature of the scientific process. You have to send it through peer review. Upon peer review, hydroxychloroquine was found to be completely useless against COVID. In fact, it had worse results, if I remember correctly. It was not saving anybody's life. Now, here's the real million-dollar question I have for Hank. Is he talking about hydroxychloroquine, or is he talking about that time that people were taking horse paste and eating it to prevent COVID or whatever? Ivermectin, horse paste. My God. You know, honestly, I gotta say, that's like the most comical, 2-year span in my lifetime for conspiracy theories. It's so ridiculous.
different methods to be, cured from COVID. So they've been laughing right along.
Oh, they've been laughing right along, yeah. The Biden administration's been laughing right along from the day that they introduced COVID into society, the Biden administration, before they were an administration. They were laughing then, and they were laughing when they told people that hydroxychloroquine would solve problems and then banned it anyway. And they were laughing when ivermectin was hard to get a hold of, though the Biden administration just knew it was going to solve problems, so they only made it available in fish tank cleaner and horse paste. Yeah. Totally. Absolutely. Now wait, was the fish tank cleaner ivermectin or was that hydroxychloroquine? I don't remember which was which. How did we make it out of a pandemic without dying completely as a country? How did we survive that with so many gullible morons among us? Really. Here's another clip from Hank. Same day. This is July 2024.
And I feel from the Spirit of God that we, the people, must not become empathetic towards this fake Biden. That's what I always call them, the fake administration. Okay, they've been playing a game with us for a long time. Come on, we forget 2020. We forget how they
Who is we?
put upon us a fake scamdemic pandemic. They told us that masks.
Wait, was COVID real or no in his mind? I have to wonder. Does he think it really happened?
Pandemic. They told us that masks were going to keep us safe from a COVID virus. They told us about.
Well, I mean, masks definitely prevented air particles from moving further and faster. That's beyond a doubt. Yes, everybody knows that's how it works. Use an e-cigarette with some of the puff, some of the smoke to demonstrate that to yourself if you would like to. It's very obvious that masks help at least a little bit. Now, there are degrees to which masks help. Do masks help a lot or just a little bit with COVID? I don't know. I haven't looked at the study, but I do know that they help a lot generally with disease, and that's why doctors wear them when they enter rooms or when they're doing surgeries or whatever. But okay, keep pretending masks are fake, I guess.
You know, social distancings of 6 feet, which Fauci later on said, oh, I just made all this up.
No, this has existed for like hundreds, maybe thousands of years, actually.
They were all part of this. They were also part of, you know, setting these cities on fire and encouraging people to, you know, come out against those who are standing for God and for country.
Setting cities on fire? What is he talking about? Were cities set on fire in retaliation for COVID? Or was it Fauci lighting cities on fire in retaliation for Hank Kunneman not wearing a mask? I'm not sure. I can't figure this out. I mean, this dude's been saying wacky, wild stuff for like years. Check this clip out. Oh, by the way, look, he's a pocket square man. I can appreciate that. You see this little pocket square? Mad respect. Okay, tell me your insane conspiracy theory.
Listen to the words that I speak to you at this moment,
Okay.
says the living God. Why do you fear, United States? For I have spoke to you before, and I speak to you again. I have extended and opened a window of mercy to this nation at this time. Therefore, the virus that they speak of, the prognostication,
Here we go.
the diagnosis, the fear, my mercy is the quarantine that shall be greater than what they have spoken to you, United States.
The quarantine is my mercy and is greater than what they've spoken to you. Like, what? Does this make any sense at all? I'm grasping at straws to understand. What is he talking about?
And because of the administration that stands in this land, who honor me, who honor the covenants of your forefathers and of the Constitution, and because they have aligned themselves with Israel, and because they have sided on the right side of life, life in the womb, life given outside of the womb.
Look, I don't want to go down this path, but the Bible endorses abortion. Okay, it says you should get an abortion. Numbers 5:11-23. Read it. I don't feel like it right now. If your wife cheats on you, for example, it's just one of the reasons why God instructs you to get an abortion. Because paternal lineage was very important at the time, and the only way to know is if your wife wasn't cheating. So it's just like, it's so wild to me that these people have found an issue and wrote it into the Bible, even though they don't have a verse to back up their belief system. What verse do they even turn to for that? There's some verse in the Bible about a prophet of God, and he was like known by God before he was even born or whatever. So that's talking about somebody who's had a soul since they were in heaven or something. I don't even know. That has nothing to do with abortion. What are you even talking about?
Therefore, I give life to this nation and I give mercy. Do not fear. This virus is the Spirit of God.
Do not fear this virus, says the Spirit of God. Christians are shielded from it. They are protected from it in his mind. That is the idea that he spread. And by the way, it wasn't just him either. It was his buddy, Kenneth Copeland. They were super spreaders. And it was Andrew Womack, too. There are clips that I haven't been able to play legally or on YouTube up until very recently, because YouTube's been a lot more relaxed about COVID misinformation since we've all recognized that it's bullshit. But yeah, here's one from Andrew Womack. This is on Kenneth Copeland's TV network, the Victory Channel. I don't know what it, channel 61 or something like that on TV. I don't remember. But listen to this. I think I might have played this once, if that, on my channel before. This is 2020, shortly after COVID hit.
That no sickness would even come nigh our dwelling. And Daniel, something I've been studying just in the last couple of days, based on all of this, was Exodus 23:25. And that verse says that you shall serve the Lord your God, and he shall take take away all sickness, take all sickness away from the midst of thee. And I looked up those words in the Hebrew.
He pretends that he knows the order that the words were in and can read like ancient Aramaic or Hebrew or whatever. He has some special insight that no one else has. Give me a break, bro.
And the word take and away, the word on either side of sickness, it literally means to turn off.
Wow.
He will turn off sickness, and it was put in there twice just to emphasize that, you know, whatever receptors you have in your body that make you receptive to sickness, he'll turn it off.
Let me give you a little hint or a little piece of advice about language, just language in general. Languages are very different from each other. You know, in Chinese languages, like in Mandarin, they even have an additional type of word, not nouns, not adverbs or verbs or adjectives or past participles or whatever. They don't even, it's none of that. They have an additional category of word that we don't have in English to say, for example, make something more formal. Now, how can he, without a lick of irony, sit there and try to interpret a verse that's written in Hebrew at best, maybe Aramaic, and then translated into English? Actually, it was translated to Greek and then to English. I guess now we have the Hebrew version, but how could he possibly, with a straight face, put any value on the exact words being laid down right now?
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
That's a great revelation.
That's awesome.
I've got all of that on our website. You can go study those things.
No, thank you, good sir. Anyway, these people are a joke. They're ridiculous. And Hank Kunneman has been the source, the historical source of misinformation since day one, since the very beginning. Look, I don't have much time here. I want to show you just one short clip. He's talking about the curse of Ham, okay? Ham was Noah's son, I believe, and after the flood, Noah got super drunk. Who wouldn't, right? And he takes all his clothes off, gets naked. I do the same thing when I get drunk, right? I don't get drunk, but anyway. Takes all of his clothes off, he falls asleep, or more accurately, passes out in his tent, naked. Ham walks in, sees his dad there, naked, and he comes out and he tells his brothers, like, Dad's in there, naked. And so the brothers, like, grab a sheet or whatever, and, like, hold it behind them and walk backward into the tent and kind of drop it on top of him. And then he wakes up and he sees what happened and he realizes they covered him. And they find out that Ham was the one that saw his dad naked. And Noah curses him to the end of his days or something. That's the story, the curse of Ham, right? And Hank Kunneman describes the ramifications of that one event.
But cursed be Canaan, the children always pay for the sins of their fathers. And the servant shall be unto his brethren. Who do they fight against? Now, why is that curse so effective? I want you to go, cursed be who? Canaan, even though Ham did it. Now go to Genesis chapter 10.
Canaan was a neighboring society that lived in the same area, and they had the same gods. Yahweh was a Canaanite god. So was Baal, or B-A-A-L, Baal, or Asheroth. These are all mentioned in the Bible, you know, gods like that. And it's also the reason the first commandment says, you shall have no other gods before me, because there were other gods in the pantheon.
And I want you to look at verse 26. Look at the cities that were part of Canaan. All right, you have to understand, or 19, we go to 19. Thank you guys back there, it's 19. And the border of the Canaanites was Sidon. Why is Sidon so important? Well, go to Luke 10 in your research and you will see that Jesus called out Tyre and he called out what? Sidon. They were wicked. There was wickedness. These evil spirits were working through them. It's what we see today in Freemasonry, globalism, socialism.
Oh, okay, wow, we are going completely off the rails all of a sudden. What's all this? He starts talking about, like, some city that Jesus didn't like and ties that back to what?
They were wicked. There was wickedness. These evil spirits were working through them. It's what we see today in Freemasonry, globalism, socialism, communism, woke. Come on, you got to speak our language. That
Woke.
was the Tower of Babel, right? It's our language.
My God, dude.
Right? It's what we're saying. It's all one. We're all one. Yeah, it's globalism. Come, Nimrod, who is the chief builder, Freemason. Come build. I'm the king and you just serve me. Come on, sounds like communism and socialism and globalism to me.
Well, that's because you don't fucking know what those things mean. That is one of the more embarrassing things that I've heard this guy say. When I hear people like this refer to things as socialism and communism, it makes it very clear to me, a capitalist, by the way, I'm a capitalist, that they don't know the first thing about this. They've never read this stuff. They know nothing about it. All they know is that it's evil, and they want to demonize it at any cost, and anything that they hate is woke and communism and socialism and CRT and DEI. It's all the same thing. It's all one thing to them. My God, dude. These people are something else. Oh, God, I had so much more to talk about and so little time, sadly. Anyway, tell me what you think about this in the comments. These people need help, man, for real. This is just sad.